Hello YouTube, I've got another high ELO game here with the teams being Karthus, Thresh, Varus, Malphite, Volibear versus Kayle, Jarvan, Zyra, Misfortune, and Zed. So it looks like the lane matchups are going to be Volibear versus Jarvan in the jungle. At top lane, it looks like it's going to be Malphite versus Zed. At mid lane, it's probably going to be Karthus versus Kayle, and at bottom lane, it's going to be Thresh and Varus versus Zyra and Misfortune. So without further ado, we're going to get this commentary underway. And it looks like we're going to be all set to go here in a moment. And voila, we're all matched up. Okay, so as far as starting items, nothing too out of the ordinary. While we got this going, let's check out all of the starting builds. So there is the Karthus running Magic Pen, not 3% CDR, so pretty standard. Thresh looks like he's going to be running roughly supports. Varus, AD, pretty standard build so far that I can see. Malphite, nothing out of the ordinary. Just a little bit of, looks like he's got some hybrid pen actually. Interesting. And the Volibear looks like he's 921 or something. Now for the purple team, we've got Kayle with hybrid penetrations. It looks like maybe 3021. It could be 21.9 or 21.09. I don't know. I haven't mapped that one out all the way. As far as Jarvan goes, looks like full-fledged armor pen, no CDR. Looks like Zyra going, looks like full support, so probably 0921 or some combination of defensive and support. And finally, two more to go. Misfortune running armor pen. She's got some lifesteal already. So she's got probably the Quince, 3 lifesteal Quince, and Zed running armor pen. So it looks like we're just seeing a little bit of aggression here between, not really, just kind of this Malphite and Zed dancing around while Malphite defends that blue. And it looks like both junglers are going to be starting Wolves blue here. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. So, and it's kind of interesting to see that, Sorry about that. Got distracted by some real life stuff. It's kind of interesting to see all these people defending that jungle so early, but I guess Zed was just poking around, kind of watching to see Volibear go. And starting items, everybody's very standard. One thing to note, Zed decided to go with that sight ward Ultra Pots. Lots of early game aggression here at the bottom lane, and Misfortune taking quite a bit of damage there between the Varus and Thresh combo. So at top lane, it looks like Malphite is on the winning end of the exchanges so far, but that's to be expected when he starts cloth armor. So, but yeah, so far a pretty quiet start so far. No invades, no real true early game aggression, and it looks like we're going to see a gank here at top lane relatively soon here from the Jarvan. I would assume as soon as he does red here, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for that gank here very, very shortly. So, yeah, top lane looks like it's going to be pretty boring because Malphite did decide to go with that cloth armor. We're going to watch bottom lane for a little bit because I think we're going to see a little bit of aggression, but it looks like we might see a gank here from the Volibear. Volibear going in here. There's the slow. Looks like he missed the fling, and it looks like Kayle is going to get away just fine. But the reason we're seeing so much aggression here at the bottom lane is because we do have Zyra with that bind, but more importantly, Thresh manages to land that pull. There's the ignite, and the last auto attack manages to pick up that kill. And so nice little play there by Thresh, managing to land that pull ensures the kill there for the Varus. So well played there by Thresh. Zyra getting a little bit too out of place there, and this is the problem with Zed that Zed's going to have is Malphite does have that hardcore armor already, and with the anti-attack speed, Zed isn't going to be able to trade blows very effectively with that Malphite. So, since we are a fairly AD heavy team, and by that I mean we've got Zed, Misfortune, Jarvan. That's 3 pretty attack damage oriented teams. Plus, he didn't know this, but Kayle is hybrid, so it's actually going to be really good. And since Kayle is also attack speed, Malphite is an amazing pick for that team. So I assume that was a counter pick there. Jarvan, he isn't super affected by attack speed. It's more his burst mainly comes from his passive, his ultimate, his EQ combo. So it's more his abilities, less so his auto attacks. Even though he does do quite a bit of damage with his auto attacks, but a lot of that does come from his passive damage. So it looks like so far relatively calm, except for that Thresh managing to land that pull early game. So it looks like on our first back, Zyra didn't get pretty much anything besides a couple wards. So quite a bit of damage here going down on the Misfortune. I think she should be able to get away. Flashes away, manages to dodge that arrow. So little escape there from Misfortune. It's the small victories that we must try and celebrate whenever possible, because small victories lead to great ones eventually. Sometimes, you know. I love my absolutes that sometimes turn into false generalizations. Looks like we saw a little bit of a gank here at top, but that Malphite gets brought so low. We're going to back it up just so we can see that real quick. Looks like Malphite trying to bait that Zed in, and looks like he kind of chases fairly aggressively. Then he does quite a bit of damage, flashes away, tries to bait him in, so oh man, Malphite did go down there to the Ignite. Well done there by Zed. Very well done, but it looks like Volibear was not able to get that feast off. If he did, he just doesn't quite have the damage necessary to ensure that kill for Zed. So now it's 1-1 with a blue has a significant gold advantage, but most of that's going to be on this Varus, since this Varus is 30 CS over this Misfortune, plus he's got a kill. So yeah, that's where a lot of that gold differential is. You can see there's 1,000 gold difference between them. So there is a gank on mid lane going on, forcing that Karthus to flash away from that Jarvan. So nice little engage there from that Karthus. Not Karthus, bleh, Jarvan. That should force this Karthus to play super defensive now, because Kayle does have quite a bit of damage just with her Q auto attack combo. It's not really a combo, it's just she just has a lot of sustained damage. So back to bottom lane, not too much going on here besides they're zoning the crap out of Misfortune. Misfortune, she is 20 going on 30 CS behind this Varus, so that's rough. Misfortune really needs that early game farm, otherwise her double up doesn't do much. So hopefully we see a really nice gank here from Jarvan. Blue team doesn't have super orb coverage right now. I don't think they have vision. Nope, they don't know this Jarvan is there. MF manages to bait this Thresh to overcommit, and it looks like Jarvan is going to get a kill here on this Thresh. But there is the Volibear, and there is the Requiem from that Karthus, doing quite a bit of damage, manages to pick up the Misfortune, and also ensure enough damage so that Jarvan goes down. And so that was a nice play there from blue team. Even though they didn't have vision of that Jarvan coming in initially, they just managed to bait him in far enough so that he overcommitted, and then with Karthus's I'm sorry, we lost our vision. Anyway, with Karthus's AoE global presence, they just managed to do a very good job there picking up the kills. So Karthus managing to get a kill and assist there is going to be relatively huge, even though he is up CS over this Kayle. So Karthus is going to start to become very scary. Top lane, looks like they did a little bit of poke there, but nothing super relevant since, like, look at that. Malphite, it looks like he's building a Thornmail, and I'm not sure if he has lots of damage going down on that Thresh, but he is staying in lane for probably longer than he should, taking quite a bit of damage, and he should head back now just because MF with a single double up could maybe kill him. So should head back, even though he does have that 59 armor, just to be safe, he should head back. And looks like Varus is going to take advantage of this by BF Sword, get a little bit of lane sustain. Looks like he's going to decide to hold off on that tier 1 boot, so nice little play. And Karthus is going for the high mana sustain, so once he gets like blue buff and stuff like that, he's going to have crazy amounts of regen, but right now he's going for that maximum amount of sustain, going with that tier catalyst. So going for the long haul there, not for the crazy AP. It looks like Jarvan doing a little bit of counter jungling there, manages to steal the red there of Volibear, but he does leave those small minions there in the camp, so it doesn't refresh nearly as quickly. That's always a constant debate whether you kill the small golems, reset the cooldown, and then control that jungle camp, like keep track of the timers, or you just deny the red buff there from the opponent's team. Obviously, if you can control the timers, that is better, but sometimes it's very difficult to do that on a regular basis. So it looks like Volibear is going to be feeding Karthus blue there. So Karthus does have that blue. So we're going to see him have a lot more lane presence now. Looks like Varus is trying to roam just a little bit there, show a little bit of support there, and Voli manages to land the fling there on the Kayle, and there's the wall from Karthus. There is the ultimate from Kayle. There's the ignite. Lots of damage going down. I don't think Requiem is not up yet, so I think Kayle should be able to get away with just a sliver of health. Looks like she managed to get away with like 8 HP, so that's quite impressive. But right now, things are slipping quickly out of Purple Team's control. There is not much that they have going for them right now. Kayle is the only one that's got any sort of lane... that's not true. Zed's got a pretty significant lane advantage. He does have that kill, and he is up some farm. But unfortunately, with Malphite building so much armor, I doubt that's going to happen too much more. But we shall see. So doing a little bit of poke there, but with all that armor, he's just, like... I doubt you're going to see Zed be able to ensure too many kills there versus the Malphite, just because he just won't have the damage to make his ult do lots of damage. I doubt we'll see too many more kills up there since Malphite is just counter-building him so much. Thresh there, throwing out a couple Qs there, trying to ensure a little bit of damage, but unfortunately misses. Karthus, meanwhile, pushing away at this mid-turret, trying to force this Kayle to be under pressure, trying to farm a little bit less. But looks like Kayle is doing well under that pressure. Zed is pushing on this top turret, but Malphite is doing a good job defending, but he is down a substantial amount of CS, almost a little over 30, so that's a little rough for him, and it looks like we're going to see Thresh try to land a pull here, but Zyra trying to do what she can to deny that Thresh from landing anything too significant, and it looks like Jarvan is waiting for that dragon to respawn here very shortly. I don't know. He's just kind of sitting there. I think we still got like another 2 minutes. And there's the Jarvan. Oh, he was just waiting outside of ward range. There is the Zyra ult managing to do quite a bit of damage there to the Varus. But she is so very low. And if Voli lands this fling, there's a little bit of damage. And Voli ensures the kill there. So CRS doing a nice job here. This isn't quite a team game. It looks like a 4-man queue there for CRS. Looks like they're practicing with a couple peoples. But I think it is ranked. So... that's cool. I'm not quite sure. It's not ranked teams, though, so it's kind of weird. But you've got a lot of diamonds, so maybe it's just custom game, but we're going to spectate it and post it regardless because there is so many diamond players. And it looks like Varus manages to pick up that kill there with a nice Q and the sustained damage that he does have with that advantage, since he does have a BF sword and MF only has that Vamp Scepter. So, as you can see, the Malphite doing a nice ult there on the Jarvan, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Kayle ult going down on herself might be enough to save her. There is the Requiem from the Karthus. Should be enough to ensure that Kayle kill. Lots of damage going down on the Jarvan, but I think he's going to be able to get away. Volibear using that passive there to try and to be able to get away, and Karthus ensuring the getaway with that wall. So, nice little play. Zed coming in there a little bit too late in order to ensure that kill, but is going to be able to show a little bit of lane presence, and he did get that top turret, so he does have a little bit chipped away a little bit at that gold disadvantage that Purple Team is suffering from, just because they are down 6 kills, and sick kills, lol. Anyway, 6 kills and a substantial amount of CS on their the mid's not crazy substantial, but mainly the AD carry. That is super substantial. She is only at 58 CS, and we're at 12 minutes into the game. That is pretty atrocious. I'm not saying I could do better. I'm just saying that's not what this Purple Team needs right now. What they need is for this AD carry to get fed, because Kayle, she's not doing terribly, but she is suffering a little bit, and Zed, I don't think he's going to be able to carry nearly well enough, just because they do have quite a few tanky people that are very AD heavy. So, like, because Thresh, he's got lots of armor there with his passive. Volibear's got his passive, so it's really hard to burst him down sometimes unless you've got some sort of anti-heal. But the only anti-heals they have are on those ignites, which they only have 2. One on Kayle, one on Zed. So that's not always going to be a presence to be reckoned with. And Malphite, he's just got a crap ton of armor. So, you know, that's very anti-AD. So it looks like Blue Team is going to try and steal this blue buff, and it looks like they are going to succeed. Manages to take out a ward there to prevent them from doing much, and now Blue Team is starting to assert their control of the map. Let's take a quick look at the vision. It looks like they just have really nice map control. Purple Team only has 1 ward, and that's just outside the dragon. So they are aware that Blue Team is doing this dragon, but unfortunately I don't think they can contest it. So Blue Team manages to get a nice 4K gold advantage almost in their favor. So we'll see how this goes. They the only thing they're really losing at right now is pushing. Zed is doing a really nice job of pushing top, and Kayle is doing a nice job of keeping Karthus from pushing his lane. But Karthus has blue buff. He should be clearing these with his E, in my opinion. But I don't Karthus him very much. All I know is he can be completely broken in the right hands, and it looks like Malphite is caught way out of position, forced to ult away, but I think he is still going to go down. Several ults being used there. Zed and Jarvan both burn their ults. It looks like Volley and Karthus are going to try and do a little bit of damage here. Purple team trying to counter by taking this blue buff, but Volley does the fling. Lots of damage. There's the ignite to prevent too much healing, and now Karthus is the center of all their attention. Lots of damage going down. Manages to flash away, and there is the Requiem. Let's see if he gets a kill. I think he'll get the Kayle. Almost gets these other two. So very close. Thresh manages to pick up that Jarvan with a nice Q, getting the vision there from his lantern, forcing the Zed to cancel that return. And now Varus is solo, and he manages to pick up that Zyra, but he is fed enough where I think he can take down this MF. We shall see. Oh god! There's the barrier, manages to dodge the Zyra passive with a nice flash and that barrier, burning both the summer spells, manages to get that double kill. Very nice play there from Varus, and it looks like CRS is going to finally take their first turret here at this bottom lane. So well played by Varus, and now the gold advantage is 5k in blue team's favor. So this is starting to get a little dire here for this purple team. At least they are preventing a lot of these pushes, but now Varus is at that point where he is starting to get very, very scary. Just because he does have that bloodthirst, and now he's got a zeal, so he's got quite a bit of attack speed. So now he's doing all sorts of hybrid damage there with his AD that he's building, plus his magic damage from his spells. So like, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. It is going to be really rough to deal with him. So Misfortune finally got her BF sword, so she is not way behind, but way behind. And it looks like everybody else is building super tanky. Malphite going with that sustained damage there on the Sunfire. There's the Kayle ult on this mid siege that's going on. Manages to prevent too much damage, and it looks like it's going to force this Karthus to go back and heal. Zed is coming in from the side, so we'll see if he does try to burst down this Karthus. Karthus dropping a ward, so they do have vision of this, and it looks like blue team is going to try and slowly disengage from this, since it is a 3v4 right now. 3v5, correction. So it looks like Karthus manages to get that blue, and now he is going to join the fray, get back into the fight, however you want to call it. So while we take this momentary lull, while I think purple team's going to slowly disengage, let's take a quick look at the items. Karthus does have that Rod of Ages, and he almost has it fully stacked, so he's headed for quite some time. Malphite going for that Sunfire Cape. Volibear going for the Iron Locket of Iron Solari is going to provide a lot of utility. And there's the engage. Manages to burst down that Varus so very quickly with the help of the Zyra bind and that Zed ultimate. And it looks like Zed... Oh man, I thought Zyra was going to maybe get away there. But Malphite manages to flash out of that Cataclysm, and now blue team is just asserting their dominance. This is where that gold advantage is really starting to show, forcing that Misfortune to flash away there. And now it looks like they are going to be able to take this mid turret. And it looks like Volibear tries to sneak along the side to pick up a kill there, but gets caught by the Jarvan and goes down. And now this turret is looking a little bit less sure thing. And it looks like Thresh manages to land a pull there, enough to scare that MF, just enough to force that cleanse. And there's the Requiem from Karthus. Manages to pick up a double kill. This is where Karthus is so very scary with that global presence. And it looks like this mid turret is finally going to go down, and now this gold advantage is about 7k in blue team's favor. And we should see Dragon coming up here within the next minute or so. I haven't actually been timing it, but just by the general feel of the game, I believe it is coming up here relatively shortly. And we're almost to that point where Baron is going to start being a threat, but it's not super relevant. I always use the metric of about a level 10 to 13 is when you can viably do it at this high ELO, because the only way that you can do it below level 10 is if somebody is extremely fed, and it's usually a tank, or someone you're toggling tanks very, very well, and there is, like, you manage to get an ace somehow with everybody still being very full, or there's absolutely no vision, so you get to, like, basically the other team has to be incredibly stupid in order to get Barons at this early in the game. So I doubt we'll see it. Probably, maybe in 6 minutes we might see a Baron fight, but we shall see. So it looks like blue team is once again going to steal this blue buff, but they need to be careful. This is a 5v4, so they need to be very, very careful. Just a couple aces is all it takes, or just a couple misengages where you trade like 3 for 2 or 2 for 3 can turn a game very strongly in their favor. The only reason I don't see this game turning in purple team's favor is because of their comp. Misfortune, in my opinion, is a relatively early game AD carry. Like, she doesn't have a crazy steroid. Like, she has a decent steroid, and her ultimate prevents her from doing tons and tons, like the standard AD carry where she kites and runs. And yeah, they've got a little wombo combo there with the Jarvan, MF, Zyra ult, but I just don't see it happening. And there is that dragon back up. Purple team does not have any vision of this, it looks like. They are probably aware of this, but blue team looks like they are going to get this dragon without any contest from this purple team. Jarvan drops the standard there over the wall, but Zyra gets caught out of position there with a nice Q there from the Thresh, and this is going to be bad because this is probably going... Zyra going down there is going to allow for a siege or a blue team to assert total map control here. So we shall see if blue team tries to siege this mid turret, and it looks like that's what they're going to go for. Zyra finally getting that Ruby Sightstone should allow for her to have a little bit more map control there with that ward coverage, but frankly it's almost too little too late, because at this point I wouldn't be surprised if we see Thresh or somebody get an Oracles at this point in the game, just so that they can clear the map a little bit more efficiently. But maybe they'll just stick with pinking the vital spots like Baron, Dragon, blue buff, you know. And it looks like blue team manages to get that tier 2 middle turret, and this is starting to look extremely dire for this purple team. The gold advantage is nearly 10k. I guess it's only 9k in blue team's favor, so this is starting to get a little hairy. And we haven't seen a true 5v5 team fight yet. I'm excited for it, just because it'll be interesting to see the wombo combo versus the AoE sustained damage that they have, because Varus, Karthus are all AoE sustained damage sort of people. Like, Varus doesn't have a ton of AoE, but he does have quite a bit of poke and quite a bit of sustained damage with his like magic percent damage that he does with his blight. But it's going to be kind of interesting. So it's wombo combos versus sustained tankiness. That's what my opinion. But I expect Karthus is going to go full glass cannon. Doesn't matter if he gets focused, so long as he dies in a relevant spot for the team fights. And hopefully purple team is smart enough not to fight in those Karthus death rings. So, and it looks like nice damage going down there on the MF, forcing that flash away just because he does have that red buff. So now this Varus is so very scary, just because he has so much control over the map, and he has 3k gold. He could go back and buy an IE right now. Or at least he's pretty darn close to buying that IE, just because he already has that Cloak of Agility. I think it's 3,800, so he's maybe 200 gold short. And here it goes and engage a 2v4 here at this top lane, and it looks like Zed might go down. Nice Kayle ult. It might be able to do enough there to ensure a kill, but no, not going to happen. And it looks like Kayle might go down to this Karthus. Boom goes the dynamite. And now this purple team is going to lose their tier 1 top turret, and this should push the gold advantage to 1.5k, 10.5k is what I meant to say, in blue team's favor. And now, wah. Purple team is in trouble. There's not much they can do, but we will spectate this to the end, because you never know. Never give up, never surrender. That's what they always say, because there is always hope until the fat lady sings. I think I'm mixing all sorts of metaphors, and this Zyra is so dead. Just so dead. Karthus lands a nice wall, ensuring the fling there from that, well, whatever. What is that spell called officially? Rolling Thunder. Manages to fling her out of position, and then she just dies. And it looks like Zed is going to try and chase down somebody here. He does have his ultimate up, but the Malphite is there. There's a nice little Thresh pull. Zed doing quite a bit of damage to this Karthus, gets the shutdown kill. There's the MF ult doing a considerable amount of damage, and it looks like we're going to see Zed go down there. Overstayed his welcome, and Varus chucking an arrow there over the wall, trying to bring that that Jarvan down just a little bit more, and now they manage volley, trying to chase just a little bit, poke a little bit more, and the Kayle is there, just gets destroyed by that Thresh. Holy cow. I kind of want to see that again. We're going to see that again. Kayle just duking it out here with Varus. Almost gets him, but Varus jumps over the wall there with the help of the lantern and then just gets destroyed by Thresh. Huh. Too funny, and it looks like that MF goes down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a surrender here, because this purple team, I don't see any way in which they can come back from this. I really don't. And there's the surrender. Nice little game there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, even though it was kind of a stomp. I thought it was generally good play. Unfortunately, because of the comp there, I didn't see much hope there for the purple team from making a comeback. But hey, you never know. So thanks again for watching. If you do like what you see, please let me know down in the comment section below. Please hit that like button, tickle that favorite button, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Welcome to YouTube. And once again, I'd like to thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.